Hi Swaroop, how are you?
Hi, sir. Good morning. How are you?
I'm
I'm
absolutely
fine.
fine. How are you?
Yeah, good, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us something about yourself? Like how many years of experience you have with respect to manual testing, with respect to automation testing?
Okay, I have 3 years of experience in the testing field. So, accordingly, I have 2.6 years of automation testing experience. And I worked with Selenium with Java in the TestNG with like page object model framework. And I used the extend reports for reporting. And we used to have daily test cases, test scenarios developing in our day-to-day challenges.
Great. So how many test cases or how many test scenarios were you able to automate every day?
It is around 3 to 4, sir. Depending on upon the complexity of the scenarios, it will be around 3 to 4.
Correct, correct. So this is a good answer. If you get such questions in an interview, you know how many questions you need to, oh, sorry, how many test scenarios were you able to automate, then
Yes, sir.
you can answer accordingly, like 3 to 4, or depends on the complexity of the scenario, depends on the complexity of the feature, like that.
Yes,
No
sir.
worries. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, is it possible for you to share your screen and write an automation code using Selenium? And you need to
Yeah,
log into
sure.
the Gmail account. Okay, first launch Gmail and then you need to log into the Gmail account, which are all the different assertions that you will keep, right? So likewise, you
Okay,
can
sir.
use IntelliJ, Eclipse, whichever you are comfortable with. Let me give you the sharing rights. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
now you would be able to share your screen.
Yeah, 1 second. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, yes, I'm able to see the Eclipse is getting launched.
Yes, sir. So meanwhile, I will search for the exports of the Gmails. So you mean to
Yeah.
login automation, sir?
Yeah, yeah. You need to log in into the Gmail account, right? And in on the Gmail
Okay.
screen, which are all the assertions that you would keep, so you can create a flow of that automation script.
Okay. Do you mean using TestNG or using main method, sir?
Using TestNG also you can do.
Give me a second. Is it okay if I go with main method?
Yes, yes, that would be fine.
Thank you.
So as you are developing, so may I know why you have written WebDriver Manager?
Okay, sir, WebDriver Manager is a package we are using for automatic updating of the Chrome driver, like what, the driver instances which have been we have to download a very new level of updates from the Chrome driver. Like, let me show you. So, for Selenium, we need to give the Selenium which WebDriver we are using.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we have to download the latest these driver instances. So
Mm-hmm.
now presently it is a Chrome driver 1 or 2 version. So I have to go to download and keep it in the set properties at a particular location. I have to make it manually. To automate this process, we have using the WebDriver manager.
Okay, correct.
I have already added the packages. It is a Maven project,
Okay,
so I don't need to have to make it download of the dependencies or libraries.
right, right.
So for this project, I have taken already. So I
Mm-hmm.
can try, I will check it up here.
Okay,
So is it launching or not?
yeah.
So you can see it is downloading the new version, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
because it has been updated. So if you make it manual, the other process is there. So we need to download this manually.
True, true. No, no, this is very good. Let's say if sometimes it's a weekend time going on, or vacation is going on, or holidays are going on, and
Yes, sir.
automatically Chrome gets updated, so your automation won't be running as you won't be having the
Yes.
updated jar file. So this
Yeah,
is
the
good.
continuing integration may have the problem.
Absolutely.
So
Okay,
it's working fine. Okay,
working
here,
fine.
sir.
Yeah, now let's log into the Gmail. um, Use some different assertions, or you can say checkpoints. How will you validate whether this page has
So
yeah.
let me validate it with the title name, sir. So is it going to the correct website or not? So I will
Mhm.
give an assertion over here. So we are passing the 2 strings over here, sir.
Okay, so as you are
So we
writing
can
over
make
here,
it the
yeah,
yeah
yeah, please go
hard
ahead.
coding. So I will make it the actual process.
Hmm.
I mean, give me a minute. So the expected value.
Hmm.
Before this, I will get the return values. store it in a string. So otherwise we can use it directly over here, sir. We to make it visual friendly. So we can make it like this. So to understand the coding for everyone, we can make it simpler. If it fails, we need to get some message, so we can make it over. Something like titles mismatch. So this is one of the validation. So after this, I was inputting the email address.
Correct.
So we have variable attributes. So preferably I can use the identifier IDs. So ID will be the most pickable value, most preferable. So we need to pass some of the inputs using send keys.
Okay, so let's say if your send keys method does not work this time, then which are the other ways to enter a text in a text box?
The send keys method is not working. I never come across this situation.
So you can use JavaScript executor.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it is also one of the options.
Yeah.
We can use the JavaScript executor. That's another way.
So correct. So in the 16th line, you have mentioned WebDriver equal to new Chrome driver, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happens in this line? Like what happens in the backend during this line? Why do we write driver equal to new Chrome driver? Why don't we just write Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver?
Sorry, sir. Okay.
Oh,
There are many ways
16th
to
line.
instance.
Yeah. What is the? Can you explain me this line? Why do we write driver equal to new Chrome driver?
Okay, let me explain. So the WebDriver is the interface which contains all the driver classes as a general part, like what I mean. So it's the abstract methods. So WebDriver contains all the methods for all the drivers. So it is the interface for all the Chrome driver, Safari driver, Firefox driver. So if you instantiate with Chrome driver also, it will work. No issue. You can use the Chrome driver, but it is limited to Chrome driver only. So some of the methods we cannot change over to another browsers, like we cannot test the cross browser testing. So it is limited to Chrome driver only. Entire the testing, it is limited to Chrome driver.
Okay.
So we are. I hope this will be fine.
Okay. And why this do makes, we write? Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, this makes the WebDriver makes everything like reusable. So we can use it for any type of browsers. So this code can be used for any drivers, and we can change it through changing this variable. Yeah.
Correct. Now, why do we write new over there?
So we are writing the new Chrome driver as the object creations. We are creating an object for Chrome driver.
Okay. So which is the object that is getting created with this line?
Yeah, the Chrome driver is the object created with the reference variable of drivers.
Correct. Perfect. This is a perfect answer. Okay. Now, why do we use assert?
So assert is by the name, it is indicating that validation or checking for some of the validation and verification of the results. So if we are expecting something, we need to check it. Is it expected and actual values are matched or not? So if you are going to the right page or not, we have to check and go the further process.
Okay. What is the difference between hard assertion and soft assertion?
Yeah, the hard assertion and soft assertion has the small difference. Like if we, this is the hard assertion, so the soft assertion is another class which used to make the asserts which does not show up the, if in this hard assert, if we have, if we the expected value is not equal to the actual value, it will stop over here only. So if we have the soft assets, the execution will continue for the next line, and at the end of the statement we can have that another statement. I didn't get right. So something we used to get retrieve all the results at the last,
Right.
so we can continue the execution.
Okay. So over here you have used assert dot assert equals.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now consider a scenario. I think this is fine. You are okay with the script. If you will
Okay,
run
can
this script, it will. No, that is fine. No need to run.
okay.
Yeah, that is fine. The
Yes.
Gmail will launch and that email text box will enter that email
Yes, sir.
address Swaroop Reddy and gmail.com. Now my
Yes, sir.
question was, let's say you have created the script, okay,
Yes, sir.
and you have done the changes in your local machine. Okay. Now there is one
Okay.
more person in your team who is also working on the
Okay.
screen, same script, but instead of your Gmail address, he's entering his email address, right?
Okay.
So when the automation will run, how will
Okay.
you collaborate among yourselves? How will you manage the code? Let's say he is having some part of his code, he's having version 1 of the code in his machine, you are having version 0 of the
Okay.
code in your machine. How will you collaborate among yourselves?
So we have the version control system over here, sir. That is, we use the Git as the version control system.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to collaborate using Git.
Okay. Now what is git conflict?
Sorry, what
Yeah,
is?
what is a conflict in git? Have
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Okay. Git conflict is something like if if something is not matched with two of the codes,
Hmm.
then there is a conflict between the two versions of the codes. So if
Right.
two persons are working on the same thing, but there is a difference in this uh, execution.
Mm-hmm.
So that will raise to a conflict that is known as git.
Okay. I think you are telling it very right, but
Yes.
if you get this question in an interview, so how can you explain? So you can explain that there are multiple scenarios where a git conflict can happen. Okay, so
Yes.
then you can tell them scenarios one by one. So one of the scenario you can tell them is when two separate branches have changes to the same line in a file. Let's say you are working on a file, you have made some changes, your team member is working on the same file and he has also made some changes, right? But your branches
Yes.
were different, right?
Okay.
So the separate branches we have, but we have the changes to the same line in a file. Let's say you had also modified the email address, you had mentioned it your email address, he had mentioned
Yes, sir.
his email address. So in
Yes,
that
sir.
case the conflict will happen. Another case
Yes.
is, another scenario where conflict might happen is, let's say you are working on some file, okay, and
Yes, sir.
you have modified that particular file with respect to the test automation scenarios that you are doing, but at the
Yes, sir.
same time one of your team member, he or she has deleted that file in that branch, in one branch, and he's trying to push the code, you are also trying to push the code, so git conflict will happen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Got
this
it.
is how you can tell in an interview. No doubt your answer was very right,
Okay.
and if you will answer to the point in an interview, so it would be very easy for the
Okay.
interviewer to move you to the next level,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Okay, now can you tell me the git command which is used to delete a particular branch?
Git command to delete an branch. Sorry, I never come across this.
Okay, no issues. So if you want to delete a branch, you can simply use the command git, whichever is your branch name. Let's say your branch name is automation, and space
Yes, sir.
-d you will mention to delete a branch.
Okay.
Now, if you want to
Okay.
delete a local branch, so same command you can write git space branch space -d and whichever is the local
Next.
branch name. Okay. Now
Okay.
let's say if you want to delete a branch remotely, then you can run the command git push origin
Okay.
space, and then you need to write delete and whichever is the remote branch name that you want to delete.
Okay.
Okay, so you might get this question in an interview, or you might also get the question like how will you delete a branch locally or how will you delete a branch remotely.
Okay.
Okay, like that. Now, what is the difference between git pull and git fetch command?
So Git pull will take all the files to the local repository. Git fetch will show the what are the files available to be fetched, to be pulled. So it is not taking all the files to the local repository. It is showing the what are the files available. Can you hear me, sir?
Actually, there is a power cut at my home. So,
Okay.
yeah. Snehal, can you please wait for 5 minutes? Hello, Snehal? Okay. Yes, Swaroop, you can stop sharing your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, this is good. Okay. Yeah. So we were discussing about git
Yes,
pull
sir.
and git fetch. Yeah. What is
Git pull and git fetch.
git fetch?
Yeah. Git pull will retrieve all the files from the remote repository to local repository
Mhm.
without asking the permission before uh, what are the files to be taken from the remote repository. The git
Mhm.
fetch will show the list of files which can be pulled before we get the list of the files. What are going to be pulled?
Mhm.
Yes. So is there any we can check the is there any conflicts?
Right. Right. Okay. Looks good. Okay, Swaroop, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Mm, no, no. Sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.